yesterday, the announcement David Ball has been moved on. So can you just sort of explain the rationale, what sort of went on there?
Yeah, I can give you a detailed account. There's no problem. So probably start at the beginning of the season. We assessed where the squad was at, where the forward planning was, had an honest conversation with him stating that in my long-term planning, it wasn't in the plans. That means that I'd build a team around him and that if he had an option to leave, then he could exercise that. He decided to stay, then he was unfit and tried to come back from injury. I also was going through a bit of a injury, not crisis, but we had some injuries. And then I made the decision, the long-term planning of the club, which aligns with developing young players and so on. I'd rather invest in some younger players at the moment, which I think are the long-term future of the club, than investing in a player that's only going to be here for a year. So I made those hard decisions and, I was very clear about it. And, we made a decision he made a decision for him to leave. So I think it suited both parties at the end.
Do you appreciate that some fans might be unhappy with the treatment of a club store?
Well, I don't think so when we're very honest about our position. We've been very clear. He's also been pursuing other options, since the last market. So, our dealings with him have been very transparent. I don't see what the issue is.
And how big of a factor was the chance to use that import spot to bring in a new sign?
Yeah, look, at the moment, in an ideal world, if we had everyone available, I wouldn't have to bring in another visa spot. I'm very happy with the squad. But unfortunately, at the moment, we're, talent's depleted. So not only do we need to add to the starting team, we also need to add depth coming off the bench. It's an issue for us at the moment that it's a big burden to place on those younger players, which, it's something that I'm very protective of, because I think that it's unrealistic for everyone to think that those young players automatically perform. So visa spot fixes that.
Are you just looking to make one sign, or has there been two players to start?
Look, at the moment, yeah, definitely a 10. I'm not hiding away from that. That's what we need. I think we need someone to bring Costa into the game, Hadiki as well. I think it's very important that we get the right linkage, and that will, fix a lot of our progression issues at the moment. We don't have someone that has those characteristics at the moment that can fill those spots, or the ones that we feel have the right characteristics. So yeah, it's very important for us to fill that.
Is there an urgency in terms of timing? Obviously you've got a month to look for a player, but just the way results have been going, and also the fact that you've got players that could be out for that time as well.
Yeah, look, urgency, yes, but we don't want to make a rash decision where the player that we bring in, doesn't fit what we need. At the same time, irrespective of the results, I'm actually really happy with how the young players are going and give them an opportunity. I just don't want to get into a situation where it's all young players and putting that pressure on them. I think that can burden them or hurt them in the long run. I think that we'll make a decision, but we'll make it with a good basis of why we're bringing the player in.
Have you started looking at players?
Yeah, one or two. To be fair, because we've had this run of games, it's been very hard to look at players consistently over, with thorough eyes. But we've got the MacArthur game. We've got a couple of days off after this, so I'll probably be in the office looking at all these options.
And no one else is planning to leave?
As far as I'm aware at the moment, no. I don't think there's many left. So, at the moment we have a solid 18, 17 players, and that'll get us through for the next couple of games.
Does it feel like this new import, you really need to get right, just in terms of players that are out, results, but also the context of, pushing a club forward on?
Look, we talk with hindsight all the time, like it's easy, but, I'm still, I'm very optimistic about the future. I'm very optimistic about this team. We counted the other day, we have 3 existing players, or players that started from last year's team. So it is really a new team at the moment. It's going to need time. It needs time to find its feet. We also need time to find some depth. So whoever we bring in, we're going to, make sure we're thorough. But again, it could be a player that contributes nothing because of the short term or the short turnaround, or it can make an instant impact. I'm not sure, but we're going to make our best decision.
And how's the health of the squad after the game on the weekend? Is Sam Sutton come up with?
Yeah, unfortunately, Suts was carrying a virus, so was Nathan Walker. So I was very happy that we got what we did out of them. At the moment, everyone is fine. Haney's still out. Bruce is still out. We got scan back for Marco. It was worse than expected, so it's going to be a real long-term injury with him. So, apart from that, I think we have some available players. I think Finn Conchi will come back into the squad. There was a bit of a strain with Luke Brooks-Smith in his quad, so we're kind of monitoring him, see where he's at. And Gab Rodriguez picked up a significant knock training the other day, so he won't be available.
So what's Marco done? What the scan shown?
So it's an unusual strain inside the ankle. So usually the way he's rolled his ankle is rolled the outside of the ligament. It's usual to roll the outside ligaments. He's rolled actually the inside, so it's worse than expected. So we were hoping it was like 6 weeks with return to play. Now it looks like maybe 12.
So will he be back before?
Highly unlikely at this stage.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
within 12 weeks.
So this the import player you want to get is part of it. It sounds like maybe someone who replaces Marco Rojas, because I guess is that the role you were hoping he would?
Well, my intention was not to replace Marco Rojas. Like, the idea was to build around him. That was my intention from day one, and we've had a lot of bad luck in that, in that aspect. No fault of anyone's. It's just the way sometimes football goes. I think potentially yes, we need someone to fill that spot where I was trying to build a relationship with the other front two, but also I need another player to, also fill when I need to make a change. So it's very, very important that, again, whoever we bring in does that job.
Yeah, because obviously Costa's stranded on 99 goals at the moment, but do you just feel like you're just not getting him the service, and, if he does get the chances, he can...
Yeah, look, I think more than anything, I think the frustration is on Costa's side is probably the quality of chances that he's getting, or getting service. And, I put it simply down to cohesion in terms of playing cohesion, being able to build relationships with players and understanding. So if you look at a wider scope, if you have 7 or 8 different players in a team, that chemistry takes a bit of time. It's not as easy as saying, this player's going to fill in that spot and he's going to find him all the time. We still has to understand how the player makes a run, how the player makes a touch. So chemistry, and that takes time. So unfortunately, when you're hard pressed, with results, sometimes when there's I would say you're down on confidence, it can affect chemistry as well. So look, are we going through a tough period in creating those chances? Yes, I agree. But again, I was very happy with the performance overall against Adelaide. I thought we took it to a team with a relatively, inexperienced team on the park in terms of the collective. And, unfortunately made some errors and it cost us. But, if they can keep putting those performances in, we'll get there.
You're looking forward to welcoming Offie back to Wellington?
Yeah, always. Yeah, I don't think he's been back since he left Wellington, so it'd be nice to see him.
Not planning a dinner with him before the game or anything?
Definitely not before the game, maybe after.
And what have you made of Sydney? They were sort of widely tipped to be the favourites going into the season with the squad they've got.
Mm-hmm.
They had a slow start, but it seems like they're really starting to fire now.
Yeah, I think he's got some players back on the park now. They're starting to build a bit of cohesion. He also is probably finding the transitioning of the squad, like he's building it more to what he likes. And, he's doing a great job there, to be fair. I think last year was an epic result to get 3rd or 4th from where he was. He took over a squad that was very, I think, disenfranchised and, did very well. And again, this year, he's got some good players. You can tell that some of the young players he had as well are going to be very good players in the future. So, he's got good chemistry within the team. And again, we have to respect them.
do you think you've got the cattle to be able to get it?
Always. If I go into a game thinking I can't win, then I'm not the right coach. It doesn't matter what players you give me. Always come up with a game plan to make sure that we're competitive. And, again, if we can eliminate just some, unforced errors and timing and things about that more awareness side, I think, not giving up these goals keeps us in the games for longer. So yeah, we can definitely get a result on tomorrow.
Do you have to do more on weeks like this to back the team up after they, played well but didn't
get the result last week?
Yeah, I think I'm experiencing this first time as a head coach. I'm learning a lot about myself and the playing group, and I don't have a perfect answer for you to say, this is going to work, because if it was that easy, everyone would be doing it. It's really going to come down to how hard the group works and rallies behind each other. And the reality is not to make any sort of excuses of why we're here. It's just getting on with it. And, there's going to be a game where something significant happens, or we need to step up, or we get a bounce of the ball, or something happens, and the confidence comes back flowing.